Yes, doctor, you can start.
Hello, this is Dr. Archana Shetty. I work at present as a professor of pathology, and I also head the transfusion services at Dr. Chandrama Dayanand Sagar Institute of Medical Education and Research. And I have a post MD experience of 15 years in teaching. And I've also done my postgraduate diploma in medical law and ethics from NLS. And teaching is something that I'm passionate about. So I think this is something that will interest me to teach the students about the NEET PG questions. So without further ado, let's begin. The broad topic for today in pathology is something that is core of hematology, which is about the leukemias and the lymphomas. So when the questions are coming, I will be explaining in short how to remember each thing properly and how to rule out the distractors and to how to boil down to the right keys. So question number 1 states that we have a 55-year-old patient who's presenting with abdominal pain, hepatosplenomegaly, and a WBC count of more than 50,000 per mm cube. The question is, which of the following genetic abnormalities is involved in this case? Now, even before we go to the options given below, the clues in the stem of the question is the patient is a middle-aged man. There is organomegaly, which means there is hepatosplenomegaly, and there is a total count which is more than 50,000 mm cube. This itself is a clue that is pointing that there is some form of a leukemia. If there was lymphoma, there should have been lymph nodes that are found. But in this case, Vignet, we know that we are dealing with some form of a leukemia. Now, a 55-year-old patient itself is suggesting that it is a chronic leukemia. So putting things together, we probably come to a conclusion that it is CML. In CML, what is the genetic abnormality that is involved? In CML, the classical genetic abnormality is the Philadelphia chromosome. And from the undergraduate portion, it is very clear that a Philadelphia chromosome has a translocation of 922. Translocation 922. So in the options that are given below, the answer is the third option, which is T922. But at the same time, we need to be very careful about the other distractors. But how do we remember it is 922? The short form is, please follow the principle of A, B, C, D. B and A are there. BCR-ABL fusion gene is there, which is seen in CML. Remember this sentence always. A, B, C. In CML, there is BCR-ABL fusion gene. What comes after A, B, C? It is D. So the Philadelphia chromosome is seen, and that Philadelphia chromosome leads to the 922 translocation. If you want to go a step further and see that you score more, after A, B, C, D comes E. So what does the 922 translocation do? It produces the activated tyrosine kinase, which helps in cell proliferation, leading to one of the forms of leukemia, which is CML. So a bottom line is A, B, C, D, E. In CML, there is BCR-ABL fusion gene, leading to a chromosome which is called as a Philadelphia chromosome, in which we see 922 translocation, and this particular translocation produces increased activities of activated tyrosine kinase. Having said that, what are the others? T1517 is a translocation that is related to an acute form of leukemia, which we'll see sometime later. Deletion 1p is related to some other form of cancer. It is related to multiple myeloma. How do we remember? 1 is written as a single stick. So the 1 can stand as a vertebral column. We know that multiple myeloma affects the vertebral column. So deletion 1p is in multiple myeloma. Deletion T3q is in some other myeloproliferative disorders, not to get confused. So the option, the best probable answer for this question is T922. A couple of other features about CML to remember is that there are 3 phases of CML, and the 3 phases again are learned by the short form of A, B, and C. A for accelerated phase, B for blast crisis, and C for chronic phase. So this together sums up what is CML. Coming to question number 2, in continuation with the various forms of leukemia. So here we have, unlike the first question, here comparatively younger 34-year-old female who presents with low hemoglobin, a platelet count of 25,000 per mm cube, and a prolonged PT, which is a prothrombin time, and APTT, which is a activated partial thromboplastin time. The peripheral smear is given below. This is a picture. Which of the following fusion genes is most likely affected in this condition? Contradictory to the first question, let us see what are the keys that are given in the stem of the question. We have a 34-year-old female, relatively younger age. Platelet count is dropped. What is a normal platelet count? It is 1.5 up to 1.5, that is 1,50,000 mm cube. So here it is dropped. there is a prolonged PT and a APTT, which is suggesting that the patient has a bleeding tendency. So with these features, the peripheral smear shows abnormally large cells. When abnormally large uniform looking cells are seen in a picture, the only thing that has to come to the mind is we are dealing with blasts. And as the common dictum says, whenever there are blasts, it is some form of acute leukemia. Now, knowing these things, let's see what are the options. The options are, it's written that there's a BCR ABL gene fusion, there is IGS NST2, there is RUNX1 T1, and PML RARA fusion. So the right option in this would be, before we even jump to the right answer, what are we thinking here? It's a 34-year-old female with bleeding tendency and blast. So this itself is giving a clue that we are dealing with some form of acute myeloid leukemia. So
Doctor, just a moment. Sorry to interrupt. The slide is still showing the first slide, but you are explaining the second question.
Okay.
Some lag.
1 second. This had happened during my... are you able to see me now? See the second slide now?
No. Here it's still selected as the first slide. Maybe you'll have to...
Okay.
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
Are you seeing the second slide now?
Yes.
Slide 2. Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So in the question 2, the options that are given are BCR ABL gene fusion, IGH NSG2, RUNX1 T1, and PML RARA. Knowing that we have an acute myeloid leukemia, the two distractors, that is option A and option B, are outrightly gone because they do not happen in AML. So out of RUNX1 and PML RARA, the correct answer with this question is PML RARA. Now, how quickly, let us recollect the answer in this slide. So in this particular picture, we know that AML M3 has a bleeding tendency. So the platelet counts are low and there's a prolonged PT-APTT. So acute promyelocytic leukemia is caused by a 15-17 translocation, which is a PML RARA fusion gene. Again, how do we remember the numbers 15 and 17? 15, 16 is skipped, 17 is there. So similarly in alphabetical order, Q is skipped and R is there. So we have the PML RARA fusion gene, translocation 15-17 in acute promyelocytic leukemia. How to remember even more better is, please remember two boys who are fighting with the stick. Two boys, one age 15 and 17 years, fighting with sticks. These can be compared as OR rods. Now what happens when the two boys fight together? They usually start hitting each other and somewhere there's a bleeding. So remember that in AML, M3 OR rods are present. There is 15-17 translocation. One boy is PML, one boy is RARA. So PML and RARA are fighting. There is 15-17 translocation. There is a presence of OR rods. When they hit each other, there's a bleeding tendency. So APL is often associated with disseminated intravascular coagulation. So let's go back to the question and see what's the right answer. We have a young female, prolonged PT and APTT, bleeding tendency is there, thrombocytopenia is there. Blasts are seen on the peripheral smear, so we know that it is AML M3 or acute promyelocytic lymphoma. Now, as we have learned in the short form now, in acute promyelocytic leukemia or APL, there is 15-17 translocation. What are the genes that are involved? It is PML RARA and OR rods are seen. And there is bleeding tendency. So considering all these points, the best possible answer for us will be a PML RARA gene fusion. So why is the PML RARA gene fusion important? Because the therapeutic guidelines or therapeutic targeted therapy is affected by finding this particular mutation or gene fusion in the patient. So that summarizes acute promyelocytic lymphoma or acute promyelocytic leukemia. Question number 3. Is my screen moving, Manoj, now?
No, doctor. I mean,
okay,
now...
Just a second, wait.
Yeah. Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. Just a second. Yeah. Question number 3. Okay. Now, question number 3 states that before I move on to the question number 3, I just want to tell a couple of things. IGH-NSD gene is usually seen in multiple myeloma. The BCR-ABL again is seen, as we have revised already, in chronic myeloid leukemia. About the RUNX1T1, again it is seen in AML. But let us all remember very clearly that there is no bleeding tendency. Okay, so when you're running, it seems you're all right. You don't get hurt, right? So if you're getting hurt, you can't run. So the very fact that you're running rules out there is no bleeding tendency. So the easiest way to remember is PML RARA remember the two boys fighting with the sticks, 15, 17. Run X1, Run X2, there is no bleeding tendency and there are no OR rods. So Run X1, Run X1 T1 is also seen in APL, but it does not have DIC nor it has OR rods. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question, which is question number 3. So the stem of the question states that...
Doctor, it's still in question number... Yeah, question 3, right?
Yeah, question 3.
Yeah,
I've just
yeah.
started question 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Question 3 states that the stem states that an African child, so they have given something regarding the race as a clue. So the African child, again, age group is it's a pediatric patient, presents with the jaw mass. So there's a localized mass that is present in the child. A biopsy of the lesion, that is the jaw mass, is given below. So we have a picture here. And the child is found to have a 8-14 translocation. What is the most likely diagnosis is the question now. Options that are given are AML, follicular lymphoma, multiple myeloma, Burkitt lymphoma. So the distractor A is immediately ruled out because whenever there is a mass, the end always of the answer will be OMA, OMA, OMA. Mass is lymphoma. Leukemia is blood cancer in which the cells are circulating in the blood. So outrightly, the distractor A is ruled out. So remaining follicular lymphoma, multiple myeloma, Burkitt's lymphoma. Multiple myeloma, just in the previous slide, we have discussed whenever there is a single vertebral column and an aged patient, multiple myeloma is there. So distractor C is ruled out. Out of follicular lymphoma and Burkitt's lymphoma, follicular lymphoma, as the word itself says, follicles are seen in the lymph nodes. So in follicular lymphoma, we see enlargement of the lymph nodes and not a jaw mass. So even by common sense, the 3 distractors can be ruled and the right answer is the last option, which is Burkitt's lymphoma. What are the salient points about Burkitt's lymphoma? The clue is given in the picture here. We see that there are some light areas that are standing out against the background of sort of a blue cells, which are the lymphoid cells. So this particular pattern is called as the starry sky pattern, which is a classical feature of Burkitt's lymphoma. What are the stars and what is the sky? The sky is the blue or the lymphoid cells, and the empty looking cells are the macrophages. What are the macrophages doing here? The macrophages, as we all of us know, they are scavenger cells of the body. So when the lymphocytes are proliferating in large number, the macrophages try to mop them up. To wind up, how do we remember? The clue to remember is Burkitt is the name of a boy. Let's imagine that Burkitt is viewing stars in the night, or Burkitt is seeing a starry sky. Okay, so that's the way to remember. And if you want to remember the gene that gets translocated, imagine that Burkitt is holding a mic in his hand and seeing the starry sky. So what is the gene that is mutated in Burkitt's lymphoma? It is a MYC gene or the MYC gene. So that's about Burkitt's lymphoma. So to summarize again, in Burkitt's lymphoma, there is 8-14 translocation. There is a starry sky pattern. Because it is lymphoma, there is a mass that is seen. It is not the lymph nodes, but it is a mass that is usually found in distant parts of the body, like the jaw mass. It is endemic in certain parts of the globe, Africa being one of the endemic regions. So 8-14, MYC gene, Burkitt's lymphoma, starry sky pattern, Burkitt watching the sky in the night with a mic in his hand, summarizes important points in Burkitt's lymphoma. With that, we move on to the next question. Monish, can you see my slide? It's question number 4 now.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So the last question that I have time to discuss today is question number 4. Stem of the question says that a lymph node biopsy from a 30-year-old male presenting with cervical lymphadenopathy reveals the histological findings shown in the image given below. What is the most likely diagnosis? Let's see the clues. Again, we have a lymph node biopsy. So it's not circulating blood cells, which in the question by now, we know that we have to rule out leukemia. So one distractor is out. So a lymph node biopsy from a 30-year-old male, again a young male, presenting with cervical lymphadenopathy. So there are cervical lymph nodes, reveals the histopathological finding shown in the figure. What's the diagnosis? So what is striking in this picture is the center cell here. This is a cell which resembles the eyes of a bird, which is the owl. So this is a clue for us saying that this is a Hodgkin cell. What is a Hodgkin cell? Hodgkin cell is a classical feature of Reed-Sternberg cell or RS cell, is a classical feature of Hodgkin's lymphoma, which has a owl-eye appearance. What's a owl-eye appearance? Whenever in a cancerous picture, you see a big cell which has exactly 2 nuclei, which are the Xerox copies of each other, and they have a distant nucleoli in between, you know that you're dealing with a Hodgkin's disease. So RS cells or Reed-Sternberg cells are characteristic feature of Hodgkin's disease. Having said that, we've ruled out AML because we are having a mass here. Human papilloma virus is a virus. So it's no way related to the diagnosis. They are not even telling it's human papilloma virus infection or HPV related cancer. So the key is itself telling that it is wrong here. And why is it not chronic lymphocytic leukemia? Again, as we have discussed, in leukemias, the cancer cells do not form masses. The cancer cells are circulating in the blood. So whenever your questions have peripheral smear pictures, you need to think in terms of leukemia. Whenever your questions have a biopsy picture, you need to think in terms of lymphomas. And when there is a RSL, the type of lymphoma that we are dealing with a Hodgkin's disease. Important point to note, the two broad categories of lymphomas are Hodgkin's lymphomas and non-Hodgkin's lymphomas. Hodgkin lymphomas can be further subcategorized into lymphocyte depleted, lymphocyte rich, nodular sclerosis, and the entire other category of NHLs are the other lymphomas. So the right answer in this question is undoubtedly it is a Hodgkin's disease. Hodgkin's disease, RS cells are the two important key messages that we need to take. Monish, that's all I could do for today.
Just a moment.